This video gives a brief overview of the Perfect Record game contract management platform. I'm going to show you the main sections of our site, and then within each of those sections I'm going to show you a number of different features, but I'm not going to go into detail on any of those individual features. However, we have a number of other videos on this same YouTube channel that do go into detail on each of those features, so if you want to learn more about a particular feature, just find the corresponding video in this channel. We're going to start here on the schedule page. And the schedule page is where you're going to do the bulk of your work as far as creating contests, sending out contracts, and managing the status of them. Here in the main section of the schedule page is where you can see all of your individual contracts. You see all the contracts for the current academic year in chronological order. For each contract, you can see the basic information: sport, date, opponent, time. And then the next thing you see is a status icon. The status icon is a quick visual indicator to let you know where this contract is in the exchange process. And then depending on what the status is, it's going to automatically change as the contract moves through the process. You can always hover over the status icon to find out the exact status, and then you can actually click on the status icon to get even more information about the status of this contract. Everything that's happened to the contract in the past, and then also everything that's going to happen on the contract if it's not yet completed. And then to the right of that, you have actions. The actions are how you interact with a particular contract. And what actions you see available for a contract depend on the type of contract it is. Is it a home game or an away game? And also what the current status of the contract is. You know, an unsent contract, you'll see send contract. A contract that's in process, you'll see contract status. A completed contract, you'll see view signed contract, so on and so forth. So over here on the left are the schedule filters. Again, so what you see when you first interact with the platform is all of your contracts for the current academic year in chronological order. We want to make it as easy as possible to find a particular contract in our system. And so these schedule filters allow you to limit what you're seeing here to match particular parameters you can enter here. You can filter by season, by home or away, by sport. Probably the most useful one is filtering by sport here. So let's say I wanted to look at my women's soccer schedule. I can select women's soccer from the list here on the sport filter, and then you see it hides everything else, all my other contests, so I'm only looking at my women's soccer schedule, allowing me to access those games quickly and easily. The last thing I want to show you here in the schedule page are these blue buttons in the upper left. These are how you create new contests in the system. The create contest button, this is how you create a single game, one game at a time by entering the information and clicking create contest. And then the other button, bulk create contest, this brings you to a separate part of the platform where you can upload a spreadsheet to quickly create a whole bunch of contests at once. So this is a really efficient way to get your schedules entered into our system and get those contracts sent out. So let's move from the schedule page to the dashboard. The dashboard is what you see every time you log into the platform. And what we do here is we pull all of your contracts into a few different reports that we think are useful ways of looking at them. You can think of your dashboard as sort of a to-do list for you. We have a report here that shows you any contract that has been sent to you by another Perfect Record school that's awaiting your signature. We've got a report that shows you any game that's coming up in the near future where the contract is not yet signed and completed, making it easy for you to make sure that you've got that signed, completed contract in place for every game before it happens. And then we've got a report that helps you identify inactive contracts, contracts that for whatever reason aren't moving through the signature process. The last section I want to show you at the top is My Account. My Account has three main parts: My Profile, My Organization, and other users at my organization. My Profile is information about you as a user. My Organization is information about your school. And then under the My Organization section, there's a few buttons here that are very important to interact with before you start using the rest of the platform. Edit My Organization Sports allows you to choose which sports you want and which sports you don't want. So from this list of all the sports that we support, turn on the ones that you sponsor, turn off the ones you don't sponsor, and this will streamline your use of the platform as you move forward. Edit contract defaults. This is a big time saver for you. What you can do on edit contract defaults is on a sport by sport basis, you can set defaults for both information that's going to appear on the contract and then choices for when you're sending out each of those contracts. Who do you want to sign off on it, so on and so forth. I highly recommend that you set these defaults before you create any of your contracts, because these defaults will only apply to newly created contracts. So definitely set these for all of your sports before you enter your schedules for those sports. The last section in our My Organization you want to look at is Edit My Contract Template. This is where you can design your contract template. So this is what the opposing schools, when they go to sign your contracts, this is what they're going to see. And you see, you start out with our very generic contract with our Perfect Record logo on it, but you can upload your own images and move the images around and place them where you want in the template. You can have your own language in a number of different sections of the template. And so you can rebuild this to match the template you currently use, or you can design a new template. It's entirely up to you. But again, this is something that you're going to want to do before you send out any contracts, because you want to ensure that they look like contracts from your institution rather than our generic template. The last thing on my account is other users at my organization. You can create as many different users as you want for other people in your organization, and you can also set specific permission levels for what they are allowed to do and what they're allowed to see on our platform. So you can create a user with this button, and then each user is going to appear on a card below, and then you can edit those user permissions with this green button, and you can set what they can do. You can make them an organization administrator to give them the power to do anything our platform is capable of, and if you don't want that, you can set specific permission levels on a sport by sport basis for each of those users. Last thing you can do on the My Account page is to set who you want your primary contact to be for your organization. This is going to be that person who is going to be the default selection when another Perfect Record school goes to send you a game contract. You can choose who you want to receive that contract. So again, this has been a quick overview of the site. If you want to learn more about any of the individual features that I've covered here, please check out the corresponding video on our YouTube channel.